Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. For today's video, man, we are reacting to Stephen A. Smith. Apparently, this man went on the record and said that the Lakers should strongly consider trading LeBron James. Guys, just for the fun of it, man, go to the comment section below and let me know your best or most realistic LeBron James trade. I don't think it's going to happen. That would be insane, man. But I'm just curious. Like, who do you think LeBron could get traded for in 2022, 2023. Let's get him in.
To LA we go. The Lakers have had 7 different coaches since Phil Jackson, and now they will look for number 8 after firing Frank Vogel after the Lakers.
Who's going to get it, man? Who's going to get it?
Adrian Wojnarowski recently explained the team's lengthy replacement process, reporting that Phil Jackson is certainly significantly involved in the process. Of course,
yo, just hire Phil.
How good the Lakers were with Phil in the saddle as the team's head coach, with 118 playoff wins, 5 NBA.
Hire Phil, man. Triangle offense. Let's do it.
But Phil's run as the Knicks president was nothing short of a disaster. The team didn't make the playoffs and had the 5th worst record in the NBA during his tenure.
Yeah, team was ass. Or that era was ass, I should say.
Top of the morning to you, sir. I mean, you've been going for a while on Get Up. I'm starting.
You guys were really entertaining in that A block, by the way. Really.
What a guy.
Enjoyed that first segment.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yeah, it was great.
I didn't antagonize you.
Yo, I love JJ Redick, man.
We'll get to it.
I love JJ Redick, man.
Is this a good idea, Stephen A., that you think the Lakers are involving
y'all want to hear about the
Jackson
trade
in the process as they hire their next head coach?
If they were looking for a new general manager or a new president of basketball operations, I would call the Los Angeles Lakers franchise the biggest idiots on the planet.
Oh, you're saying that as a salty Knicks fan, man. Come on now, man. Come on, man. I mean, I get it. Like, you know, if Darko was out here giving draft advice for the Detroit Pistons, I'd be a little salty too, a little mad about it too.
Because Phil Jackson should never be allowed to be an executive again. A matter of fact, I'm still so salty about the job he did in New York. I'd prefer that he be banned from New York.
Ooh!
I don't think he should be allowed in the state. That's how bad of a job he did. I just think Frank Ntilikina is who he drafted instead of Donovan Mitchell. Just don't get me started with this dude. I don't even want to hear about Phil Jackson.
Mitchell went like number 16, didn't he?
The coach is an entirely different matter. Now,
I still believe in Ntilikina, by the way.
He first got at the Knicks coach, but he wanted Steve Kerr. And obviously Dolan got in the way of that. We know how great Steve Kerr is, one of the great coaches of all times. He's just proven that. There's nothing to debate.
Right.
But I want to veer left. Okay. Because I have something that I want to say to Doggy. And JJ Redick, I specifically, because Doggy and I were supposed to do this segment, I specifically requested that you be in this segment.
Oh, boy.
Because I have an announcement I'd like to make.
What's that?
It is involving LeBron James. Doggy, JJ Redick, I want to announce to the American public that I think the Los Angeles Lakers should strongly consider trading LeBron James. That is what I believe.
JJ Dillon's
now, a lot of people are going to lose their minds because the brother's 37 in his 19th year, and he just averaged 30 and all of this other stuff. If the team was better, he would have been a league MVP candidate without question. This is not throwing a speck of shade on LeBron James in case he's watching, which he'll try to deny it, but he's watching, okay? I'm telling you right now.
Man, Steve A. a little conceited, bro. Like, I must say straight up, man, like, you know, I watch some First Take every now and then and stuff, but I ain't turning that shit on every single day. Come on now. It ain't been the same since Skip been around. It ain't been the same since Max been around. But, you know, I will say I do like JJ Redick, though. Like, JJ Redick, I don't know if, like, is he doing, like, full-time just every now and then?
It's a testament to his greatness, and it's a compliment to him that I'm saying this is what the Los Angeles Lakers
I don't like that damn stat dog Russo, though.
The Los Angeles Lakers, as presently constructed, are going nowhere. Russell Westbrook clearly lost something. Do I think that he'll make amends and come back to some degree next year? Probably, but we don't know. So entering last year of his deal, making $47 million. I know for a fact.
Russell needs new players around him. That's it.
You can't get but so much value for Anthony Davis because he's perpetually injured. And he's not reliable health-wise. We know how big time he is as a player, JJ. When he's healthy, when he's not, but when he gets injured all the time.
Yep.
Here we go with LeBron James. He's the only person that has extreme value, that you'll never get equitable compensation for his greatness. But it's the only chance you have to be immediately respectable if you're the Los Angeles Lakers. First, we got to take into account what we're looking at in the Western Conference. We got Phoenix, they ain't going nowhere. We got Golden State. You see these brothers. They're here. And they're going to be here for a while. We got...
Who we trade LeBron for?
With Luka leading the way, okay? Nico and Jason Kidd doing an outstanding job. I think they're a piece for being those legit title contenders. Okay, we got that going on. Kawhi and Paul George will be back.
Yep.
Minnesota is on the rise.
Yep.
Memphis is here. Okay, we got all of these things. I'm giving you 6 teams in the Western Conference, and let me not forget New Orleans. And if Zion Williamson is healthy, I mean, my God, what New Orleans could potentially do. So we
don't really know what this does with like trading LeBron James though, because like what he's trying to say is like you can be like a little bit like respectful in the short term of trading LeBron. I don't know what for exactly, but like for one, if LeBron's on the final year of his contract, while teams will give up things to get LeBron on their team, even if it's for one season, I don't think it's going to be as much as you think. Like it's not going to be as much as you think. And even if they trade LeBron, like LeBron is like one of the best players in basketball. So whatever you trade him for, in theory, you're going to get worse unless that player is like a top 3 or 4 player in the NBA. And they're not going to get that for LeBron at this point in his career based off his aging contract. So, all right.
We got all of that going on. You the Lakers, where you going? You got nothing. So here's what I'm going to tell you they should do.
All right.
Are you ready?
Here we go. I should have listened.
And don't get too specific, JJ. I don't want you pulling out numbers and.
My girlfriend be getting angry at me sometimes because like we'll be like talking and then I'll like interrupt like I do with these damn reaction videos and she'll just be like, "You gotta let me finish." I was like, "You're right," and then she says something like, "Okay, that's the point that I was talking about that you were just about to make." So it ain't just the reaction video; it's a real life problem.
Contracts, we understand they gotta work things, they gotta make things work, and we got all of that.
Let's hear it.
Picks, picks, all this stuff. I'm just gonna throw the teams that I'd call.
Okay.
If I'm the Lakers, I'm calling Cleveland.
Okay, Cleveland. What could you realistically, Cleveland, you could probably do a sign and trade with Colin Sexton. That's a good young piece over on the Lakers. Maybe a Jetty Osman or an Okoro, somebody like that. But I could also see too where the Cleveland Cavaliers, like, they don't want to go back to that. Like, they've moved on past LeBron. They've built a great team. But, I don't know, man. If I'm a Cleveland fan, I'm still doing it. Like, I want LeBron back in Cleveland. I don't care, man.
Because they got some young talent. JB Bigstad going to be. I'm calling Cleveland. I'm calling Cleveland with some of their young talent. Okay? And the brother is from Akron. He already won the championship, delivered the championship. I mean, he's LeBron in Cleveland. I'm calling Cleveland. I'm calling Miami.
Miami, you're probably looking at, like, a Tyler Hero type of thing. But even with that, I don't think that Jimmy Butler and LeBron James are a good fit next to each other. I think it's going to be the same issue as LeBron next to, like, Russell Westbrook. I don't know, man. Like, I like Jimmy handle the basketball. I feel like when Jimmy doesn't have the basketball in his hands, like, obviously he can still do things because he's a great player. But, like, it just kind of takes away from what Jimmy can do if the ball's in LeBron's hands or vice versa.
Because they got some, I mean, you talk about Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, they got some young talent.
He ain't giving up no Bam Adebayo for LeBron at this point. It's just, for 1 year of LeBron, you can't trade away your entire future for that. You can't.
And you know, so I'm calling them. I'm calling Utah. Donovan Mitchell, you want out? D-Wade, a little minority owner up in there in Utah. I'm calling Utah.
LeBron and Rudy Gobert for a season is not winning a championship. They don't get it done. If you trade Donovan Mitchell, you're kind of going into a rebuild type of thing, so you want assets for that, not a 37-year-old, 38-year-old player.
I'm calling. Listen, of course.
LeBron James and his family?
Let me finish. He doesn't have a no-trade clause. They eradicated that. You know what I'm saying? He might not want it, but guess what? Unless he's going to retire, you don't make those calls anymore.
Yes, you do.
Got Portland, Dame Lillard. I'm making these calls. I'm saying if I'm the Lakers,
you're going to trade him for Damian Lillard.
No. I'm taking all options. All I'm doing is throwing out teams for you because if I'm the Lakers, I know I ain't going nowhere. What I got to do is prevent from falling off the cliff entirely and completely stinking up the joint for years to come. Because the reality is that I can't move Russ in all likelihood. I'm going to try, but I don't think I can pull it off. Anthony Davis, I can't get equitable compensation because everybody is telling me he's too injured, so we're not going to give up a piece for a dude that's missed half the season 2 years in a row.
Okay, but the thing is that LeBron, like Russell Westbrook, I believe, okay, I could be wrong. Like, LeBron's got 1 year left, right? 1 year on his contract. I think it's a player option. So if you trade LeBron right now, you're not going to get anything back that's going to win the Lakers championship right now. I mean, yeah, if you could get Donovan Mitchell, yes, I would do that. I would do that. I just don't think other teams are going to do that. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm the crazy one here, okay? Maybe I'm not giving LeBron enough respect and trade value and stuff like that, man. But I just feel like what the like what Steven wants the Lakers to do, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's hop on over here real quick, man. We got a response from JJ Redick.
To that, that would go against decades of behavior.
Totally
Decades of behavior upon the Lakers' part.
True.
They are a superstar-driven franchise.
I agree.
Secondly, to trade LeBron somewhere like Utah or Portland would go against that behavior as well.
Get that
because there's
up, right?
no way they would ever trade LeBron unless they got sign-off from him. There's no way they would ever trade LeBron because it goes against how they operate. This is the same family. This is the same
It's
family
unwritten rules.
that Dr. Buss.
Before you go on,
It's
I did
unwritten
not
rules.
say the Lakers are considering it. I said if I were the Lakers, I would be making these calls.
Okay.
So I'm asking you, if you're JJ, based on what I broke down about the team and
Seriously,
what they
wanna
got
throw
and
up.
what they don't have, what do you do?
What gets me to my
And that's a stupid conversation. Then what's the point? It's like that's such a stupid argument to say. The straight up like, well, I don't like the Lakers are doing it. I'm just saying if I was the Lakers. If that's the case, well, you ain't the owner of the Lakers, so why are we talking about it? No, when you're an analyst like this, your job is kind of be like if the Lakers were to do this, not I would do this. It's like if the Lakers do this doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and if it doesn't make sense, then why would you talk about it?
point, which is basically, if you're a team looking to trade for LeBron James and you're going to give up all your young players, like Miami, you
Not all of
mentioned
them.
Bam Adebayo.
Not all of them.
You think that getting LeBron James and giving up Bam makes Miami closer to winning a championship?
Thank you.
They might.
No.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Cleveland, Jared Allen, Darius Garland, those guys, like that's what they're building for the future.
Yep.
Everything you're talking about is teams essentially operating the way the Lakers have operated for decades. Teams don't want to operate that way anymore, and that's the problem with the Lakers.
It's all about building something
They have refused
great.
to modernize how they operate.
Thank
And
you.
we've seen it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Like literally, like I know you all got your championship in 2020 and everything like that, but literally, like Alonzo, Brandon Ingram, guys like that on the team, and it was worth because you all won a chip. Like I'm gonna say that straight up, but there is like this new push to build instead of buy, and I love it. I love it, and I love that JJ Redick is putting respect on those names, those small market teams and stuff like that too. So
the last 10 years, they've been in the playoffs 3 times. Only once did they get out of the first round, and that was in the bubble, 2020. The idea that they're going to bring in Phil Jackson to help with the coaching.
This is a damn video idea. I'm writing this down, man. Go check out my main channel, Crispy Flakes. I'm going to do a video on it, man. Like straight up, I'm going to do a video about rebuilds versus buying. There we go, man. Add that to my list or whatever. I don't know if that's going to be the title of the video, man, but it's going to be a fun one to do.
Given his record as an executive in New York and with the hires he made, again, it's a pattern of behavior. We talk about it all the time, the pattern of behavior. It fits in their pattern of behavior. Other teams are not going to fall susceptible to that.
Right.
So no, I think this is a crazy take. This is a crazy take.
It is.
But JJ, you don't like the roster, though. We've talked about that. You said
I
poorly built.
I agree with him 100%. This team is going nowhere.
Yep.
And trading LeBron, you're not going to get anything back where you're going to say,
All right, Mad Dog,
we're going somewhere.
Where are you on
agree
this?
with everything JJ said. First off, LeBron's not going to, you can say he's got no trade.
The only thing you could trade LeBron for at this point is you might be able to get like a decently good, like a Colin Sexton would be a nice piece to have for any team that eventually goes into a rebuild. But if you could also get like some draft picks out of it, if you can get like 2 or 3 first round picks, I don't know if I would trade that for LeBron at this point, to be quite honest, but that's what you're doing, because what you're doing is you're realizing that you won that championship in 2020, and then as this window closes, instead of having no assets to go off of because everything you trade away to get AD, you now have at least like something going for it. It's like you won your chip, and now you're kind of trading back for the stuff you gave up to win that championship. So I don't want to hear what Mad Dog has to say, if I'm being quite honest, man. But that's all we got for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out, my friends.